All right, hey guys. It's Monday, and I did quite a few videos over the weekend, but they were kind of all over the place on topics and everything else. I know I made a video. The Emerson made a Ecosphere, and so I made one, and there's a video attached in here of that. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that looks like, but and then we're going to talk about the STEM project of the floating barrel and whatnot. But on one thing I want to cover real quick on posting your assignments. If you're doing the online stuff, I don't care if you just forget about those worksheets. Those were put together to get something to give you the minutes that we needed for your hitting the objectives we needed to do for the state. But at this point, if you want to trade those out and just do these online things, that's fine. I am adding science Moby Max things, and there should have been an email sent out to kids from the 5th grade teachers with expectations of what you're supposed to do, unless you were picking things up for paper copies. But basically, I need you doing just some sort of science, whether you're watching these videos, rewatching these videos. If you want to write a summary on what I'm doing or answer the questions, just show that you're putting effort into doing something. So you kind of get a little freedom here to patrol it the way you want. And then what I do need you to do, though, is check in on Google Classroom. There's a little confusion on how to submit assignments. If you're going to give answers to the questions, which I do like seeing, I want some kind of feedback to know that you watched it, whether you liked the video, what part you liked, what you would like to see more of. But on that, if you could go to the upper right hand corner to type assignments or to respond, and when you click on that, you want to add or insert something, and you go to a Google Doc up in Google Classroom on the upper right hand side. I don't remember exactly what it says, but if you go to that and then click on Google Docs, you can type your answer in there and then hit turn in or submit or something like that, and it will come to me. And that way I can grade it, and I can type feedback in there, and then I can return it to you, and you'll see your grade and you'll see my comments. Otherwise, I can't show that you turned it in. I'm not as concerned about that as far as, if you do it, you're going to get the grade regardless of whether your answers are right or wrong, but I can give you some feedback. Otherwise, if you just turn something in and I'm not able to respond to you, and give you feedback, if you have a wrong answer or something, and we wait until we go back to school and you give me the paper assignments, it's going to be hard. If you wrote it down on paper, it's going to be hard for me to teach anything at that point, because it's not going to be fresh in our mind. So there's really no learning taking place whatsoever that way. Here, if you put the wrong answer, I'm not going to mark it wrong and change your grade to a lower grade, but I'm able to give you feedback and teach you the right answer, so there's actually some learning going on. Hopefully that makes sense, because at the end of the day, that's the purpose of doing this. We don't want busy work where you're just doing things to do them, and then you're not going to get graded, and there's going to be no correspondence between the two of us. That's a waste of everybody's time. So we want to actually be proactive and do that correctly, so we are getting something out of it. So just check that and be trying to do one of those things. If it's a beautiful day and you need to stop doing your science and go outside and do something, do it. And then when you come back in, find a time to chisel out 10 more minutes to watch one of those videos, or go out and make your own video and submit it to me. If you're doing something to try to make a connection to our curriculum and things we've done, that's awesome. I've got so many videos of people that are doing cool stuff. Inna sent me a message. She made they made mold, and Dylan has been researching some different things and doing some different activities. I know, let's see, who else told me they did an experiment? Well, Emerson did a really cool experiment with the Ecosphere, and I made one of those. I'll show it to you in a minute. And then I don't know, I'm drawing a blank here, but I know Leah has been doing some cool stuff. She made an amazing diagram. I'll post it up later, of the boat challenge, how she was going to develop that. So speaking of the boat challenge, I'm going to go ahead and transition into that so I don't have to edit quite as much and put all these videos together. I'm going to be building the boat today. I had some really great ideas and some really ridiculous ideas. One of them, I think I misunderstood what the kid said, but in my mind, he said cut it in half and then tape it back together and float in it. I thought he was just trying to make me wet, but I kind of understand what he was saying now. The way he wanted me to cut it in half, I think, or he was just trying to see me sink. So I'm not going to cut it in half and just tape it back together. So if you know who you are, if you are trying to make me sink, it didn't work. I'm going to sink anyway, though. So Leah had some good ideas. One was hilarious. She made it look like I was riding a bull, and I'll have to put that picture up because she put a cowboy on a bull barrel and had my head on it. Silas had some good ideas. I needed a little more clarification. Will said we needed some sort of outriggers, I think, which I think is good. So I'm gonna have my boys help me today with this, but here's our barrel. Now, I think most people have decided that we want to cut it in half this direction. And the problem that everybody has come up with, the main variable would be that I'm going to tip over. All right, I'm going to get in there and it's going to flip one way or another. So what we talked about doing was either putting some pool floats or some boards, something to make what's called outriggers to give it stability. Okay, now outriggers would come off from the side. On each side, maybe we could use littler barrels or some sort of foam or pool noodles to give it something so it doesn't rock as much. All right, now that I don't have all of that stuff, so another idea somebody had was cut it exactly in half and then take the other half and lay it next to it, so you have two halves next to each other, and connect them together. So then it wouldn't be top heavy and flip over. The problem with that, though, is if I weigh 200 pounds and I sit on this half, what's going to happen? Because there's nothing in that half. So what the student said when I told them that was, they said, well, all you would have to do is put 200 pounds in the other side. Great idea. Bryce came up with the idea, if we cut it in half like that, we could put a chair in the middle and two legs on each side, and then I sit up in the middle and it would balance the weight. Great idea. So those are all good ideas. We're going to get going on that today. I'm going to have my boys help me cut it, and maybe we'll be able to float today. It's kind of warm, so it might be the best chance I get to not get totally freezing and die of hypothermia. But we're going to work on that. Now I'm going to walk you over here and show you the Ecosphere real quick. And any ideas or feedback on how to make this better. Emerson's kind of the Ecosphere king when it comes to that. I don't know if I need to, oh, gnats. Buffalo gnats are back. I don't know if I need to cover the top, Emerson, or not. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, but there it is. All right, it is much more clear. Let me get over here where you can see it better. All right, much more clear. It looks like there's nothing in there living yet. My guess is something will begin to develop. All right, I'm not sure. I think some of those plants will begin to root in the muck down there and take off again. Some of them, I think, grow by rhizomes. A lesson here we could talk about is whether they're vascular plants or non-vascular plants. You know, vascular is like that, and I do see some little bugs crawling around in there now that I say that. On top of the water, there's something in there. Vascular plants, a little something swimming in there too. Vascular plants kind of have tubes that carry the water around, and non-vascular is kind of like algae and things like that, single-celled organisms. But anyway, that is what today's going to look like. I don't have a whole lot of things you need to write down for this. Just need you to show that you're doing it, respond to me, and then look for some of those MobyMax things, and I will have some other assignments that have some questions. So with this video, all I want you to do is write a little summary. If there's any questions that I put in here, I don't even remember some of the clips. I'm going to edit it today and submit it. if there were questions, you can answer them, or just write a little summary about what I talked about and whether you liked it, and if you have any feedback on what you want to see more of. All right. See ya.